It says I am live. I will go ahead and confirm that. One sec. I do have to check this out because, well, we've had our problems, but that's why the big tits are on the screen. So you can look at those titties while I figure out if the audio is working. One sec. I do have to Hey! Oh, how good is that? That is But that's why the big tits are on. That is functioning audio, and let's hope it stays like that. I actually have my earbuds here because we will be playing some clips later, and I need to be able to hear them. But yes, the big tits upon the screen, heralding the start of tonight's Sacktap Live. Of course, the big tits are a reminder to you guys to like, to share, to follow the different social media accounts associated with the show, as well as the live streams. If you want to catch the live video stream, you can do so facebook.com/the Savage Crew. And if you go on YouTube, you search Mike Montone Sacktap Live, you get the YouTube stream. So you can go and you can like and subscribe and all that bullshit over there. And you can enjoy watching me fiddle with my phone to make sure the audio works so I can avoid the embarrassment of a couple weeks ago when the comment section sat there telling me for 15 minutes as I ignored them that they couldn't hear a goddamn word I was saying. But yeah, so do that. And of course, Instagram at Gary_Moyler, Moyler. Twitter at Mike Montone. And yeah, if you have friends who are into, this kind of very, generic content, really, how many 30-something white guys are there on the internet giving their opinion about current events, right? They can get that anywhere. But you know what we do that's different than everyone else? We start and end every show with a nice big fat set of tits on the screen. As you can see here to my, what is that, my left? Is that my left? To my left? Honk, honk. Yeah, who doesn't love a big set of cans? So anyway, that's what we do. That's what we offer you. Even if the show sucks, if the audio gets all fucked up, you can't hear a goddamn word I'm saying, at least there will be a nice set of jugs upon the screen. That's right, John. Look at those milkers. Who doesn't like a nice set of milkers on a Friday night? All right. Anyway. Oh, yeah. I should also tell you that the audio version of the podcast, for those of you weirdos who don't like a nice hefty set of milkers, you can find the Savage Sacktap wherever podcasts are downloaded. And if it's not in your favorite podcatcher, just let me know and I'll throw the RSS feed in there. It's not hard. Very easy. But let's get down to business here. Millionaires are getting into heated political disputes during cheeky network game shows. Boomer musicians are protesting because a cage-fighting commentator who used to feed people kangaroo dicks has been asking too many questions about a pandemic that has lasted 2 years and indirectly led a prominent journalist to masturbate in front of his coworkers. I cannot wait to see what comes next. Coming up right now, of course, is a fresh episode of the Savage Sacktap.
You're listening to the Savage Sacktap. It's not a podcast, it's not a half-cast, it's just a quick shot to the balls to help you finish off the week. We're cutting through the bullshit, filling your Friday with rage-fueled logic, and cracking a few jokes along the way. So grab a bag of frozen peas. There's a Savage Sacktap coming your way.
Smooth, lascivious, salacious, outrageous.
Unfortunately, the start of the episode does mean that the big tits have to come down. Briefly, they'll be back later. They always come back. End of the show, the titties come back. But for now, let's get to the business at hand. I am Mike Montone. This is the Savage Sacktap. And boy, was there a fucking kerfuffle on The Masked Singer this week. Well, I guess a taping of The Masked Singer. This is from the New York Post. The newest season of Fox's The Masked Singer hasn't even aired, yet the reality hit has already caused a stir with a shocking unmasking during the taping of the first episode. Rudy Giuliani was revealed as one of the first contestants to depart in the upcoming season 7 premiere, prompting two of the show's judges, Ken Jeong and Robin Thicke, to storm off the stage in protest, Deadline reported. While Jeong and Thicke hit the exit, the two other judges, Jenny McCarthy and Nicole Scherzinger, stayed put and chatted with the former New York City mayor, the report said. Or to put it differently, the guy who was mayor during the worst day in the history of America, and in the running for one of the worst days in the history of the world, appeared on a TV show where contestants sing in disguise while celebrity judges try to guess their identity. And upon his unmasking, the guy who played Leslie Chow and Alan Thicke's son stormed off in disgust because said mayor has also been implicated in an alleged plot to overthrow the U.S. government, which involved, among other things, guys dressed like buffaloes storming the U.S. Capitol, while other guys defecated on and smoked blunts at the desks of sitting congressmen. Also present during this game show incident and unbothered by the unmasking were the large-breasted blonde who decades ago hosted a dating show, and as well as a member of a long-defunct all-girl musical act. That is America in 2022. I am thrilled. People have been bemoaning the direction that the country is going in. I don't know how you don't fucking love this. I mean, we should all be basking in the fact that we are alive for this moment. Like, shit has been way worse. If you look through history, what division was like in this country, we had the Civil War and lynchings and tarrings and featherings and all sorts of horrible, horrible things. Now, our divisions are fucking hilarious. Like, the first Civil War, the American Civil War, the 1800s, was being fought by teenagers who were conscripted to fight each other in, firing, musket balls and cannonballs at each other in open fields, turning streams into like rivers of blood. There are always reports from like Gettysburg and whatnot that like the streams, there was so much blood that it was running off into the streams and they were turning red. There were unspeakable conditions inside of POW camps. Deserters were being executed. The nation almost just completely fell apart, became two separate countries. Our current civil war is being fought by millionaires who are angry about the identity of the fucking masked singer. This is awesome. This is the greatest. The real Civil War drove entertainer John Wilkes Booth to shoot the president in the back of the head. There was an orchestrated plot to murder the president, and I think it was like the Secretary of State and maybe the Vice President. I think they were trying to get like three guys. And an actor, John Wilkes, he's like a fucking kind of like a B-list actor. So think of, someone from whatever, like season 2 of the fucking Real World, going and killing the president. That's essentially John Wilkes Booth. That guy, apparently Booth loved pussy, by the way. Like, he was just chasing pussy at every turn. So, not all bad. What are we dealing with now? Like, you go on Twitter and Ron Perlman's being a self-righteous douche, and it's like, all right, but you know what? He was still cool in fucking Sons of Anarchy. So I think if you think about it, we're doing fine. Like, the most recent shooting we've had involving an actor was apparently accidental. Apparently, it was not a presidential assassination. It was just Alec Baldwin being a dumbass with a handgun, allegedly. So I think we're okay. Deadline did not disclose Giuliani's costumed character or the song that sent him home early. And again, another sign that we're doing okay. Journalistic integrity is still alive and well. Good on Deadline for not blowing, you could have ruined the first episode of The Masked Singer. And then where would we be? Then I think we would be a country in decline. The popular singing competition has been known to wow the judges, fans, and even hosts with its dramatic celebrity unmaskings. During season 3, host Nick Cannon couldn't believe his eyes when Sarah Palin was famously revealed as the bear. This might be the most shocked I've ever been on this show, he said. I love that. Fucking love that. I didn't even realize until I looked up this article that Sarah Palin had been on it, and then I remembered she's embroiled in some sort of fucking thing with the New York Times over it, or some such bullshit. But in addition to Giuliani, America's mayor, and whatever fucking role he's played in the most contentious election in recent U.S. history, Sarah Palin, who once, this is my favorite fucking thing in the world, and I don't know if you guys know about this. It happened in 2014. Sarah Palin's family once got into a drunken 20-person brawl at a house party. I have a little snippet from an article about it. It says, in what appears to be a separate altercation a few minutes later, Bristol Palin approached Klingenmeyer saying that she was going to beat that girl's ass. Klingenmeyer, who the report describes as 6 feet tall and weighing 215 pounds, told Bristol that he wasn't going to have any of that here and that she should go home. Klingenmeyer told Daily that Bristol responded, "Who the fuck are you?" and added she would kick his ass. So that's just a snippet from an article about this 20-person brawl that the Palins got into at a party. I guess they were all wasted and they just started throwing fucking fists, and they were dragging people back to a limousine, drunk and covered with blood, and the cops were there. This is in 2014. But I love that that's who our elected officials are. Like, it's people like Sarah Palin, Rudy Giuliani is getting fucking, he's getting caught by Borat trying to fuck a fake journalist, and then he's going on The Masked Singer, and in between all of that, he's holding fucking wild fucking press conferences with paint dripping down his face. It's awesome. It's just a great fucking time to be alive. So I'm so fucking tired of people, bemoaning the direction the country's going in. We're having fun. This is a lot of fun. This is really, if you can't enjoy this, I don't know what to tell you. Then you're a fucking party pooper. Just lean into this. Enjoy it. Have a good time with this. These are delightful times we are living in. I have to by the way, I have to check the fucking comment section in between every story I do now, just to make sure I haven't been just fucking talking to myself and the audio is functional. I have to hold myself accountable to the comment section. I let them down, all two of them. In any case, as with the first Civil War, the current Civil War is a battle being fought in many places. The first Civil War, they said, was a war made up of many battles fought in many places, and this war is also being fought in many places. It's not just during network game shows that the battle lines are being drawn. It's also on streaming platforms. Joni Mitchell, Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young, and of course, Nils Lofgren have pulled their music from Spotify because they don't like Joe Rogan. And honestly, I feel like this is way less of a blow to Rogan, right? Because even in the worst case scenario, Spotify decides to cut Rogan loose, and I'm sure he comes out financially okay on that, and then he just goes and he's Joe Rogan on not Spotify, and he's fine. The people who are real, and I'm sure Neil Young has enough fucking money. These people all have enough money that, whether they're on fucking Spotify or not doesn't really make a difference. It makes a difference to people like my father, who listens to all of this shit. all of this fucking guy. He loves Joni Mitchell. Guys like it's this is dealing a blow to suburban fathers or I guess grandfathers now, the boomers, who are going to have to learn how to stream all of this music on a brand new app. All of this just terrible fucking music. And by the way, I know most people have heard of Joni Mitchell and Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, of course, very well known. If you're wondering who Nils Lofgren is, Nils Lofgren is the least successful member of the E Street Band. The E Street Band, of course, are the guys who play backup while Bruce Springsteen makes money for everyone. Of course, there was Clarence. You remember the big man? I think. What did he play? The saxophone, was that him? Everyone beloved by everybody. Probably like the most popular one out of all of them. Steven Van Zandt is Silvio in The Sopranos, so he's done something with his life. Max Weinberg was the band leader for Conan O'Brien. Nobody gives a fuck about Nils fucking Lofgren. I'm a Springsteen fan. I don't give a fuck about Nils Lofgren. I don't think Bruce gives a shit about Nils Lofgren. You don't see the boss coming running out and saying, "Hey, get my music off of Spotify." I think that's kind of what he sounds like. Very raspy man. I get it. He's always out there yelling, one, two, three, four. I don't know, something like that. The boss. He's good. I like Springsteen. He gets a little cheesy. I get weirded out. Like, I can't go to a Springsteen concert. I get weirded out by that kind of scene because it's just like a lot of people my parents' age, like the fucking husband and wives, like standing, the wife in front of the husband, and he's fucking rubbing his Viagra erection against fucking, frumpy middle-aged mom butt cheeks. That's just going on all over MetLife Stadium while Springsteen strums away up there, and they're thinking about some time that she jerked him off in the passenger seat of the car back in the 70s or the 80s when they first met. It's a whole thing. That's every time a fucking Springsteen song comes on, it's like that around people that of that age. So it's very awkward to me when people my age listen. Like, my brother and sister go to Springsteen concerts. I think they've gone to them with my parents and my aunt and uncle. And I'm just like, that's an odd. You don't want to be around people of that age are rubbing Viagra erections on frumpy fucking mom butt cheeks. I don't want to be there for that scene. I can't. You can't. I don't think I can ever go see Springsteen in concert. There's just too much of that going on. Not for me. I'll enjoy his music on Spotify though, despite what Nils Lofgren might want. I don't think anyone gives much of a shit about Joni Mitchell either, if we're being totally honest. I feel like she kind of sucks, right? My dad, he listens to her. My father listens to her too. Like, first of all, come on, man. This is not like I'm not talking out of school. I give him shit for this to his face all the time because what the fuck are you doing listening to Joni Mitchell? You're pretending to be deep because you like folk music. Get the fuck out of here. Folk music really creeps me out. Like, really, really creeps me out. Like, all of that, who's the fucking guy? Ah, shit. Now I gotta forget. I gotta look up folk singers real quick. Fucking folk singers. I'm very weirded out by folk music. Tracy Chapman is, I guess she's just a lesbian though. There's one guy I'm thinking of, and it's annoying the shit out of me that I can't think of his name. Oh, here's a nice list. Yeah, like Simon and Garfunkel weird me out. James Taylor, that's who. James Taylor just fucking creeps me out. Another of my father's favorite artists, but like, I don't know what it is. I hear a fucking James Taylor song, it gives me the fucking heebie-jeebies. Like, I feel like that a lot of I get the impression that like the 1970s were a very popular time for serial killers. I feel like a lot of serial killers were probably into folk music. Like there's just a very eerie vibe to it that I don't fucking trust. Um and Joni Mitchell has that in spades. Like I've because my parents listened to Joni Mitchell. I've been subject to this bitch's music since I was a fucking child, and I hate it because it's terrible. Um, and it's always just really creeped me out. Like I feel like folk music people are the kind of people who they invite you in for a glass of wine, and the next thing you know, you've been drugged, you're unconscious, they've had sex with your unconscious body, and then you wake up in a bathroom with your stomach stitched up in a bathtub full of ice, and there's a phone next to you and with a message that says call 911 and don't get out of the fucking tub, we took your kidneys. I just do not there's just something about folk music that I find incredibly unsettling. And I don't know where it comes from, and I don't know if other people think about this. Like they put Peter, Paul, and Mary. I think were on there. I think they're the ones who think parsley, sage, rosemary, and I think that's them, right? Is that them? Yeah, like that shit, that Scarborough Fair stuff just creeps me the fuck out. I would play some on here uh to show it to you, but I keep getting fucking copyright violations every time I play music during this show. So I got to be careful. But yeah, if you have another device around, put some fucking James Taylor or some Peter, Paul, and Mary on like real low, and tell me that it doesn't just creep you out. Creeps the fuck out of me. Where did the fucking cursor go? There it is. Hard to see a white mouse on a white screen with an eye and a half. Fuck. What point was I making before I weirded myself out with folk music talk? Oh no, that's exactly the point I wanted to get to. Was that of all the 70s were a creep decade. It was a very creepy time, but the other music I understand. I understand the fuck the man, Viet fucking Nam rock music that makes sense to me. Disco, as an Italian guy from New Jersey who has enjoyed listening to dance music and staying up all night doing cocaine in his 20s. I understand how people back then enjoyed disco. I still enjoy some disco, not folk music. That was the point I wanted to make, was that this isn't, just a fuck you old man, we don't like your old man music. It's that folk music creeps me out and it makes me think I'm going to be kidnapped and raped. Um I also had another thought on this, and I'm curious as to if you guys think I'm fucking nuts. If for the very few of you who haven't been driven away out of sheer boredom yet here, I had a thought that this is really like all of this shit, because obviously some people have been saying, hey, Neil Young maybe he's just doing it, they're doing it for the exposure, and it gets you in the headlines. Look at us, like when the fuck else is anyone going to talk about Nils Lofgren or Joni Mitchell? Um, so maybe it's a way to drum up a little publicity. As they say, any publicity is good publicity as long as they spell your name right. Like, but it seems like no one's giving that much credence. Like people on Twitter are still going fucking crazy over it. One side's flipping out about free speech and free expression. The other is pissed off that Spotify told Neil Young to go fuck himself. I'm wondering if everyone in this situation And in a lot of these situations involving celebrities is, as they say in wrestling parlance, a total fucking mark. I'm wondering if this is now like kind of a, like, take the Masked Singer, for example. The new season is getting ready to start. Um, is it possible that this whole thing, the Ken Jang, Robin Thicke storm off, isn't just some sort of PR stunt? It's good, cleverly camouflaged marketing for the new season of The Masked Singer. And I'm not like saying I'm a genius for suggesting this. I'm kind of saying, like, it almost feels like this is all becoming just very thinly veiled, like, as a way to just stir up some publicity. Like, if you need a little pub, just do something that's like, so, politically controversial, or get into a thing, and all of a sudden your name's out there, you're trending. If you're, in Hollywood, of course, you want to get those liberal sort of bona fides. You got to get your headlines that say, this guy's a big lib. He's down for the cause. And of course, there's like that conservative side of it too. Like, the Kid Rocks and the Ted Nugents of the world they're always kind of surfacing, making a statement. So I'm wondering if we haven't gotten to a point now where that kind of, like, and not that it'll go away, but just that it's just going to become, oh yeah, that's the thing that celebrities do now. And now we have no idea what they actually think about anything, but they're just like, hey, I gotta, let's scare up some press for me. Get me, I want to do the VMAs. I wonder if that's it. Like, if this is all just because, otherwise, no one's really thinking about Ken Jang and Robin Thicke. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you've seen Ken Jang's fucking stand-up special, but it's just an hour of him bitching about Trump. So, like, I honestly, I wonder if this is just Ken Jang, like, hey, let me, I get my name out there. All of a sudden, people are going to go look up my hour. Yeah, and Robin Thicke, like, when the fuck was the last time Robin Thicke put out a fucking song? He had that jam a few years ago, but I think didn't he allegedly steal the beat from somebody prominent? But yeah, so all of a sudden you go from being, the sort of fading from glory hosts of a joke of a game show, and then the next day, because you stormed off stage, not only are you the toast of sort of, liberal culture circles, but your ridiculous show is a water cooler talker. Food for thought. I'm curious as to what you guys think. Go into a couple comments here. We'll go to the phones. El Guso says quite possible, because a lot of these shows burn out after a season or two. That's right, because there's that novelty that comes when these shows first come out, and they're just fucking absurd. And it's like, the masked what? Okay, we'll watch it just to see it, or maybe they'll get a cool celebrity or whatever. But yeah, eventually you don't even realize that it's like, oh, it's season 6 of The Masked Singer already. It's like, oh, I hadn't been paying attention, but now, yeah, we have this incident involving Giuliani. Anything involving Giuliani these days is fucking huge. So yeah, I think there might be a little bit of that going on. And John sniffs women's panties in the laundry room. CNN has been taken over by the new boss. He wants more neutrality. So where else are these cucks going to peddle their play? Has the new guy said? Of course, Jeff Zucker had to stand down. CNN, everyone over there was just fucking. I mean, those guys were just slinging dick. Chris Cuomo chasing it. He's fucking fucking running around pinching ass cheeks over there. He's inviting his brother over to sample the goods. Fucking Jeff Zucker's banging. They called her one of his key lieutenants. What else? Oh, you had the Chris Cuomo's former producers are all like they're all going down. Well, one of them got accused of like grooming fucking children, like young children, being a fucking groomer. You never want to be a groomer. That's the worst fucking thing. You getting accused of grooming someone. Oh, oh man, yeah. Don't groom people. But yeah, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to really look at it through that lens now. Every time it comes up, I think we're gonna have to say like, hey, is this legit? Like, is this person actually outraged, or are they just throwing something out there to get some headlines? Like when they when a publicist alerts the paparazzi that Kanye and his new girlfriend are going to the beach, or they're going to be dining at whatever restaurant, and all of a sudden they're making headlines because it's like, oh, Kanye's got a new girlfriend. This is almost, I feel like, a much shrewder way of doing that. And speaking of the entertainment biz, we've been really a lot of talk about entertainment today, and our last topic of the day. I don't know if we're gonna get a full hour today. I'm fucking exhausted by this. It's a very very long week, and I have an early class to teach tomorrow. I teach group fitness to yuppies in Hoboken and Jersey City. But I did want to get this story in because I absolutely love it. And this is a show that I'm not wholly familiar with, but I'm certainly aware of. Certainly part of the zeitgeist is the Real Housewives of New Jersey. And I've discussed Housewives shows on the Sacktap in the past. I think it was, I don't know if it was Georgia, Atlanta. Is there a Real Housewives of Atlanta? Apparently, wherever they're from, this group from the American South went on a bachelorette party and engaged in a considerable amount of lesbian play, as well as they had some strippers over, and I believe the gals double teamed one of the strippers, and there might have been some anal going on. A lot of fun, a lot of fun. But we've done that episode already. That is just awesome. I just wanted to re-mention it because very sexy. Who doesn't love MILF pussy? Yeah, the sexy counterpart to frumpy suburban fucking house mom, fucking flat, awful butt cheeks, getting grinded against by a dad with a boner in khakis, is hot Real Housewives puss, having lesbian fun. Anyway, I'm sorry. I start talking about lesbians and I get distracted very quickly. Who doesn't love the thought of you tell me you're thinking about a couple chicks rubbing clams together and that doesn't delight you, right? You gotta love it. Gotta love broads bumping donuts. But tonight's topic of conversation is actually about the Jersey Girls, the Real Housewives of New Jersey. And I think, were they the first ones? Were the Real Housewives of, was it New Jersey or Beverly Hills? Was it back during the Jersey craze when the Jersey Shore first came out? Some shit like that, I think. I believe they were, if not one of the first ones, at least one of the pioneer groups. And certainly among the most well-known, Teresa Giudice was involved in a controversial video. She was the fiance of Real Housewives of New Jersey star Teresa Giudice, was involved in a controversial video. In June 2021, a video surfaced on Reddit that had fans questioning Luis Ruelas. The video was taken during a warrior camp, according to Screen Rant. It shows Ruelas on the beach surrounded by shirtless men professing his love and making an apology to an ex. And for whatever reason, the video came out, I guess, it says in June, but the story was going viral like this week. And again, I don't know if this was just, again, one of these things where they drum it up to get publicity for the show or whatever. But if that's what they did, it fucking worked. First, I got to show you. We need to take a little look at the fucking guy, because I have thoughts about this type of individual. If you'll indulge me for just a moment. So this fella right here. There he is. We'll make sure the face is prominent to the screen. One sec. This is I guess this is her fiance, Luis Ruelas. This guy that you see on the screen here. I mean, not this exact guy, but this type of guy. I see so many of these fucking guys every day. They are all over Hoboken. I mean, and their presence, they take themselves quite seriously. Their presence brings a great deal of laughter to my life, because they project this air of being like masters of the universe. They almost like they want to be like Patrick Bateman and his friends. That kind of, the world is their oyster, very cocky, very outwardly self-assured. They're definitely, this guy, looking at him, has definitely read books on pickup artistry. He's probably read what was it, The Game, that what's his name, Neil whatever the fuck, the bald guy wrote. That was big. What was that, like 10 years ago? That was a big one that guys were being, there was a book put out, if you're not familiar with it. It was called like The Game, like Secrets of why is Google Drive open? Get the fuck out of here. It was like some sort of Secrets of Pickup Artists book. And it was the whole thing was just different tactics for isolating women from their friends, so that nobody could prevent you from feeding them enough drinks and lies to leave a bar to go give gray area consent at best to a fumbling, clumsy, awful sexual encounter. I mean, that's essentially what the books were. And he's definitely one of those guys who is all about those fucking books. He's probably, if I'm looking at this correctly, has probably used the phrase alpha to refer to himself, which is, by the way, like the least alpha thing that a guy can do is refer to himself as alpha. I've been told that there are dudes who put that in like their fucking Bumble profiles and shit. They announce that they're alpha. There's just without a hint of irony. Obviously, using alpha in a tongue-in-cheek manner is plenty of fun, but I have never, and I hang out with some fucking dudes. Like, I have a lot, I went to Iraq with a reserve battalion, a lot of fucking cops and prison guards and what have you. I know a shitload of firefighters also come from the Marine Corps. I know hundreds, if not thousands, of Marines that I've served with, college football buddies. None of these fucking absolute goons, fucking male specimens, has ever seriously used the phrase alpha to refer to themselves. It's just not done in any kind of manner other than very, very fucking jokingly. Unless you're like one of these fucking guys. These guys love to call themselves alpha. They like to remind people that they're alpha as fuck. This is the doppelganger for one of the biggest segments of Hoboken, New Jersey males, and I'm sure a bunch in Manhattan too. For as many like kind of half fruity lib cucks who like to get pegged by their wives as there are out there in Hoboken and Jersey City that I come across every day, there are a shitload of these guys. They usually have some kind of well-paying finance job. They do, they're big. They love like CrossFit. They definitely has a Peloton at home. They're usually pretty fit. Um, and because of that, in the the white collar workplaces that they tend to be reasonably high up. They're in an office filled with people fucking hunched over at cubicles, developing like diabetes, high blood pressure, and chronic back pain. They're strolling around from the fucking corner office where they sit in there just fucking crushing up Xanax and fucking Adderall to fuel their day. They do indeed feel rather alpha. Um, but there's also this complete flip side to these guys. And I've gleaned this from when I lived in my last apartment. I had roommates. We had, we'd sublet on Craigslist if we had a vacancy. And we had, a handful of chicks come through. So I had female roommates for a few years. And then I did shore houses with where it was usually like a 50-50 male-female split. So I've kind of been around while chicks have their like private conversations about like dudes and how dates went and whatnot. And I've gotten to like essentially almost kind of take on a role of like I don't know if you would call it a sociologist or an anthropologist, but conduct a sort of informal study of the situation. And so many of these guys have limp dicks. I have heard the same story over and over and over again, where a chick will say that she was like blowing a guy and he was like, kind of hard. And then he went to go put it in her and it fucking shriveled and got soft like that. And I guarantee you, if you're friends with chicks, ask them what kind of guys it is who show up and bring a limp dick to the fight. It'll either be a guy named Hot Dog or it'll be one of these fucking, New York City, Hoboken finance wannabe Pat Bateman alpha types. It's always these guys. And because one of the big problems is, and it's where they deviate from Bateman, because Bateman would have just taken the Viagra. These guys are too proud for Blue Chew. Like they're just too much of an ego. The idea of your cock needing help, needing a little assistance to perform at its best, just infects their fucking brain. Like they can't handle it. They're all ego, so their cock has to work on its own. And it's unfortunate because they act so arrogantly, so they're so cocky because they care so much about their image to hide these sort of deep-seated insecurities they have about themselves. They wind up falling apart in the bedroom because nudity involves a considerable amount of vulnerability, right? When you are naked in front of someone, you are essentially in like your most vulnerable state. So what happens is these guys spend all night talking up their fucking dick game, bragging about, like, oh, I can't wait to get my hands on you. Yeah, fucking real aggressive during the makeout session. They drink too much during dinner because they're trying to take the fucking edge off because they're nervous because they're replaying every time over and over and over in their fucking heads that their dicks have failed on them. So they drink too much, which knocks your dick right out of fucking commission. Again, their ego won't let them take Viagra. And then the chick's all fucking hot and bothered because she's with, a guy who's well put together. He's fit. He's talking up about how much he wants to, suck her tits and fuck, eat her pussy and, fuck her all over the goddamn apartment. And the chick's like, she's laying on her back. She's saying like, I need, fucking get in here, champ, fucking, and he goes to get in there and he turns from champ to chump. It just fucking flops. The combination of performance anxiety and booze is not something that these guys can overcome without chemical assistance in the form of a Viagra or a Blue Chew. And and the whole thing, the ship just fucking crashes. So these guys are a dime a fucking dozen where I'm from. I don't know if they have them by you, but around here, it's a very common occurrence. Yes, Thomas Hager. I like that. Nice hit on nice hot dog dig. Damn, I hate him so much. We all do. We love hot dog, but we hate him. I hate him on Twitter. In person, he is actually a delightful boy. But you do every time he starts tweeting, you just want to smack him. Anyway, I have this video that has been going viral because that's, if you forgot, we were talking about Teresa Giudice's fucking fiance appearing in this video, and it is weird as fuck. One sec. It's fucking bizarre. Son of a bitch. Here it is. Get that up there for you.
I'm coming home to see you, to get engaged and bring our family together and finally get married and have a life together. I've been here for a week.
First of all, I mean, this looks like some sort of white supremacist bukkake video. Like, when I first saw the fucking screenshot for this, I thought this was going to involve somebody getting jacked off on. Right? I mean, tell me it does not have... This has just a huge... There are layers of homoeroticism here that would take just years to unpack. Like, you could do a doctoral thesis on this. I mean, I have been in the military, college sports, locker rooms, really close living conditions in the Marine Corps at officer candidate school, and I'm assuming at boot camp as well. When you shower after PT, you shower. It's called nuts to butts. You walk around the shower stall in a very tight formation with freezing cold water pouring down on you, and you're an inch away from your buddy's asshole. It is intentionally it's made. They say they want you to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And I thought that shit was gay as fuck. This is fucking, I mean, what is this? It's a warrior camp. And I can tell, again, having been a warrior myself, I have yet to see any warrior stuff going on in this video. Maybe it's coming.
These are my brothers. These are my bond. These are my brothers. This is my coach, Kevin.
Who is this fucking guy? Can you see my mouse circling this fucking... He looks like a cast member on Leave It to Beaver. He's almost got like a little bit of a Hitler haircut going too. I'd like to see him with a mustache. This man has sexual violence on his mind over here. This goateed gentleman. Why is he the only one who's clothed?
These are guys that are very unfamiliar in my life. I love you, and I love our family together. I love our children, and I hope you receive this message well.
Why aren't any of them wearing sunglasses either? It's so stupid to me when people go outside on a sunny day without sunglasses on. Like, they're at the fucking beach. It's just really annoying me because they're all squinting like fucking idiots. Put some shades on. Seriously.
Thank you. I love you. Thank you for your time.
First of all, that feels like the cut point for me, right? You said your piece. You said, thank you, I love you. Get out. Like Jerry Seinfeld said, you got to leave him wanting more. You got to go out on a high note. He decides to continue.
I hope that this hits your heart well and you understand where I'm coming from. And I hope to come home to you and be able to have a chance and opportunity to talk to you and share with you my experience in my life.
This literally, it sounds like, have you ever read just like an awful cover letter? Like someone sends you a resume and a cover letter because they're trying to get a job and it's just terrible. And you read it and you're like, oh, this was written by a fucking idiot. That's what that sounded like.
You got to talk from the heart.
There's whoever's holding him hostage just told him he has to talk from the heart.
You go back to your fucking brain. She doesn't want to fucking hear your brain.
I love you. I'm sorry I made mistakes and held myself back. And
this really does. It has the feel of like when Al Qaeda, or remember when ISIS would kidnap a journalist and they would hold them there, and the journalist just reading a statement, and then they would yell at them a little bit, and they'd have to say more.
It held my truth inside.
You better fucking
and
feel
worried
her pain.
worried about other people around me.
Feel her pain.
So again, I don't know if you can see my mouse. Every one of these faces just has something else going on. There's at least one molestation victim in this crowd. And I'm leaning towards this guy right here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's the guy, the back right. His head is kind of to the left of the dude. You know who this? All right, so this guy with the beard, the goatee beard, on the front left-hand side. I don't know which side of the screen it is for you guys, but he's the one wearing like the jacket or whatever. He reminds me of the guy from To Catch a Predator who showed up with his kid. That's who it is. That's who he reminds me of. Okay, now I can go on.
Acknowledgement. I feel your pain. I'm sorry I put you through pain. Thank you for being patient with me and seeing the man that I didn't see that you see and you saw in me.
What are you going to do about it?
I'm going to fix this. I'm going to come home and show you and prove to you the man, the best version of myself that I am right now.
She heard that before. What are you going to do?
I'm going to take action as soon as I get home.
You're saying beautiful words.
This is all very vague.
What are you going to do?
Those aren't beautiful words. That's false encouragement. That was all very vague. He said he was going to be better and he's going to take action. That's like when have you ever had to deal with just a complete fucking idiot who, they keep screwing up, just like usually like a bad employee. I would imagine a bad student as well, like some kid who's always getting a fucking D on tests because he doesn't feel like studying. And that's always what they say. I'm going to take action. I'm going to be better. Without any, like a guy who gets like 3 DUIs. He's like, I'm going to take action. I'm going to be better. And then the next day you see him walking to the liquor store to pick up a fucking case of beer. That's the kind of person that sounds like.
I'm going to propose to you and get married, if that's okay with you. I love you.
Fine. I love how this guy just couldn't fucking hold it in. Like he starts laughing in the background. All these other fucking weirdos are stone-faced and mean-mugging the kid, which I don't understand why they're mean-mugging. Like, if this is going to a woman, presumably, shouldn't he have done it maybe in front of some, I don't know, like a flowers, or maybe with the ocean behind him, not with like this band of shirtless. This looks like a group, like if a prison, where they're doing like hard labor outside and it's hot out, so they allow them to like take their shirt off or whatever, or like when they're first getting processed in and they strip them down and they wash them with the fucking hose and they give them the body cavity search. Like this looks like the lineup of dudes that you would see there. That's it. Yeah, what a bizarre fucking video. I don't know, and I guess it's just a different lived experience right? Because he's one of those guys. I mean, we saw the fucking picture. That kind of, the guy who's they've just never faced any like physical like danger or hardship or whatever. So he has to subject himself to like this kind of fake grown up boot camp. Because he's just grown. He's such a selfish, looks out for himself. We all know the type. It's a very kind of, I feel like, common sociopathic, like I think a lot of the image of the shithead straight white male, I think there are a few of them, and I think that's one of them. Like, there's obviously like there's the kind of people hate like the conservative type, like the Proud Boy type. There looked like there might have been a couple in that group, but they also kind of like the high powered fucking finance guy, the guy who would be with a Real Housewife, particularly a Real Housewife of New Jersey. And that's, you get it when you see the doppelganger for these guys. When you see the stereotype of that out there, you do understand. As much as I bitch about like lib cucks on this show and fucking manginas and fucking twinks from Brooklyn who like to get pegged by their girlfriends, and throw Molotov cocktails at police cars, like that fucking shithead, that teacher who got fired for saying that the cops getting killed was like, fucking, I forget exactly what he said, but it was kind of like, payback, motherfuckers, or some shit like that. Like that, guys like that. As much as I bitch about those fucking moes, there are also these guys who are making the rest of us look like complete fucking assholes. Like, what is this shirtless fucking wannabe alpha male fucking retreat? Is this a Sam Roberts wrestling promo? Yeah. Uncle Dave. Uncle Dave would be disgusted by this. Let me tell you something. Uncle Dave has no room. Dave's a friend. I serve as Uncle Dave's media liaison, so he's a professional acquaintance, and he really does he loves Sam. Uncle Dave would be disgusted by this display. He would not like it. He would hate this. And Uncle Dave loves shirtless men. So yeah, that's how bad this fucking video is. I don't know what the fuck these guys. I almost want to say, you almost want to do one of these. I almost want to go on one of these, or like do like a documentary on one of these, so I can see what the fuck goes on. I would love, because this really feels like, this video feels like I'm gonna watch it again. I'm watching this fucking video again. I hope I still have it. Yeah, it's still up there. Good. We're just gonna watch it again from start to finish. Enjoy.
I'm coming home to see you, to get engaged or bring our family together and finally get married and have a life together. I've been here for a week. These are my brothers. These are my bond. These are my brothers. This is my coach, Kevin. These are guys that are very unfamiliar in my life. I love you, and I love our family together. I love our children, and I hope you receive this message well. Thank you. I love you. Thank you for your time. I hope that this hits your heart well and you understand where I'm coming from, and I hope to come home to you and be able to have a chance and opportunity to talk to you and share with you my experience in my life.
You got to talk from the heart. You go back to your fucking brain. She doesn't want to fucking hear your brain.
I love you. I'm sorry I made mistakes and held myself back and held my truth inside.
You better fucking
and
feel
worried
her pain.
worried about other people around me.
Feel
and
her
acknowledgement.
pain.
I feel your pain. I'm sorry I put you through pain. Thank you for being patient with me and seeing the man that I didn't see that you see and you saw in me.
What are you going to do about it?
I'm going to fix this. I'm going to come home and show you and prove to you the man, the best version of myself that I am right now.
She heard that before. What are you going to do?
I'm going to take action as soon as I get home.
You're saying beautiful words. What are you going to do?
I'm going to propose to you and get married, if that's okay with you. I love you.
just tremendous fucking stuff. I mean, you watch it again and there's just even more stuff that, like, this guy was his fucking coach. What a fucking gig. This fucking guy, he just takes these dipshits out and feeds them a bunch of mantras about being better men, and then he makes them make these hilarious videos while he stands there yelling "fuck marketing" and grimacing at the camera like he's about to fuck the guy in the ass. I mean, this is tremendous. Tremendous stuff. This is a world that we need to delve deeper into. There's research needs to be done. That just wild stuff. If anyone knows of any like documentaries or anything like that on these fucking whatever these warrior this is like when they yank a troubled teenager out of his bed in the middle of the night and make him go to one of those fucking camps in the mountains where they get yelled at by ex-convicts. Like, that's this for adults. I love it. A masculinity fantasy camp. Oh, what a bunch of fucking cucks. Yeah. Yes, Thomas, you're right. That is a good point. It's possible there was 30 minutes of silence the 2 weeks ago, whatever the fuck it was. Perhaps my audio failed on me because I wasn't speaking from the heart. That is something. It's something I'm gonna have to mull over the next week, and perhaps I will have to come and speak from the heart next week in subsequent shows. But for now, I do have a little something for all you alpha males out there who love a big set of knockers. I see John Sniff is also commenting on the fact that his begging and pleading for permission in the proposal video is not exactly alpha. Yeah. Cruising through the comments here. That's true. Uncle Dave was not. I don't like to think of it as a grooming. I think they would use the term probably seduction. They might playfully use the term grooming, but not in its most serious context. That's a good point. Yeah, that is a monster set of just fucking big milky fucking knockers. And of course, the reason that we do that, the reason that those tits go up on the screen is to herald the start and end of every installment of Sacktap Live, and to call you to action, to tell your friends. If you hang out on the beach shirtless with a bunch of guys who look like they were extras in American History X, tell them this is a place for big tits. We start and end every show with big tits. So give it a like, give it a share, give it a follow. Check out the social pages, facebook.com/The Savage Crew, Twitter @Mike Montone, Mike Montone on YouTube, Instagram @Gary_Moyler, MOYLER. And of course, the podcast, The Savage Sacktap, is available on all podcast platforms. I'm very glad that I could share this all with you tonight. No, those are not Sarah J's. Whoever's asking that down there, but I do. Sarah J is she's great. I got to interview Sarah J at Exotica a couple years ago. I got to ask her what did I ask her about? Ass eating technique. I was asking about ass eating. And she gave some fine answers. She said, you always want to make sure you wash out your butthole first so that there's no hint of a turd or a fart. I like that good practical advice from an adult film star. Yeah. Big Sarah J fan. But anyway, I will catch you guys next week, and thank you for being here. Have yourselves a wonderful 7 days.